Hey, Rhonda. Whoops, I put that one in upside down. Darn it. Let's see here. Yeah, Rhonda, if I don't pay attention to somebody asking questions or something, um, just highlight my name a couple times in a row, and hopefully that'll catch me. There's also a way that you can text me. Have you done that, chat? I don't know if it pops up a window or not. Hey, Silver Picker, how you doing? No real topic today. Just discussing thing with the Hangouts, and I'm already missing it and having so many issues tonight trying to stream. I was showing my MS68 88D penny and my 67, showing the difference and stuff. How are you? What are you up to? Any projects going? Any coins being graded? Hey, Hector. So I'll switch a couple of coins out here and let people catch back up. And a couple more people that are missing. So I do watch your, thank you. I do watch your channel, Silver Picker. And this is a fun one. I was doing a typeset album, and I like to do first year typesets. I've got a couple of them. One of them has like 83 or so first year coins. And I got this one. It's actually the last year, if I remember correctly. The 38 is the first year. I think it's the banner. I think it's the banner that makes the difference. Oh, I do. I enjoy it a lot. There's a few channels that I watch first. You're up there, and probably the top. I think the top 5, if not, you're close in the top 6 that I watch. So Michael Kittle coin flash, just every time I look at his coins, well, they're for sale, but still, they're just gorgeous coins. Dr. G, I love watching him with his proof sets and mint sets. And yeah, his show tonight was really cool. He went through 5,000 pennies and gave them all away. And it was pretty cool. It was really cool. He had a really good response. Hey, Robert. Okay, I'll start rolling again with some coins here. Hope they showed up a little bit. This one's all red and blue. I don't know how well it's going to show. Oh. Of course, they don't show up the way they should be. Huh. That one has quite a bit of color, but it is a little more of the darker tones. But the dime is just blue and greens really hard all the way across. Robert Brewer, thank you. Unfortunately, we've had a couple that weren't doing their jobs too well, taking advantage and stuff. Sure is frustrating. I was a kid in the 60s, and, cops were respected so much back then, and it's so sad that most of that is just gone. Find most kids are scared of the police. You know, we used to go looking for an officer if we were lost or needed help, or heck, I'd even ask them for directions and stuff all the time. Never had an issue, and uh, things have certainly changed in our world. It's really sad. The 1940s. Yeah, I've got a really beautiful set of Canadians in one of my videos. I film my table with them, and it's 12 feet long. So give you an idea of how many folders I have. I have the ones that go all the way back to the 1900. So I think I have quarters, nickels, and pennies and dimes. So pretty much all of it. The half dollars, I have about half the set. Not too high. So I was trying to do some of these tone coins to see how they would look, but not turning out too good. Yeah. Well, that's disappointing. I think it's strange because sometimes these airtights it works just fine, and sometimes not at all. This one's really pretty, but boy, it just doesn't show up that way. Okay, let me do a couple more and I'll try another type of coin. Cajun. Yeah, it's just not showing up. Okay, I'll move to something brighter, better, or something. Almost stuck my half dime in my Canadians. I would have lost them for a while. I'll put this in here for a minute. Oh, that's right. I forgot we have Hector teacher in here. So that one's got a really nice radial, the bullseye style starting, but only has the one color with shading starting on the second part of it, which I really like the bullseye style of toning. Now I'm shocked this one shows up as well as it does. This is a darker type of toning. A lot of people stay away from these, but I love them. all these dark ones. Let's see here. Here we go. So Fairly Clean Coin has a couple issues. One of them is a longer scratch, which is always a big negative. But look at all those chest feathers. And this one has a really good strike on it. Oh, nice. Oh, Roadrunner, you're back. All right. So feel free to ask questions, guys. There's some good people in the room to answer. If I don't have the answers, there's enough of them here now that do. Please don't feel any of your questions are stupid. Because if it's a question you have, you obviously want to learn. And I'm all for that. This is such a great hobby. I'm a genealogist. I'm a photographer. I've got quite a few things that I really enjoy, and coin collecting falls in there with all of them. It's really fun. The best part is yep, you're right, Robert. Only stupid questions are the ones you don't ask. So the family line started off in very north New York, and they were at Sanka Lake, and there's a few areas, Reading Central or Center. The family was part of the Eastman family that ended up joining Kodak. And so my family's been doing photos since the start. And it's great because from my grandmother, or my third great grandmother, she did over 1,000 photos before 1870, and I have them. I'm not sure on Aurora Seca. Let's see. I don't know the area very well other than the older maps. I know that the first man that my grandmother married went to a city that was just a couple cities away, and hopefully I'll remember it here in a second, and became a doctor. And he wrote about his trip down the river to get to these other cities. And just a wonderful writer. This man should have been writing books. He explained how he could always tell when he was approaching the next city because of the loud squeals of the children playing. Some of the places had factories going, and you could smell them before you saw them. The waterfalls, which were really heavy through that area. The shoes, the heels of women's shoes on the wooden plank sidewalks. The smells, he'd get really involved in the smells that he was smelling. Oh, it was great reading this stuff. It just absolutely brought you into the story, made you feel like you were part of it. The man wrote about blacks marrying whites and how it would be a common thing, and he was very sure of it and wrote like some of Lincoln stuff he reads out. And it's really interesting because that was 1850, 10 years before the Civil War. But I'm sure there was a lot of that opinion going on, just nobody really sharing it. Okay, let me raise it up just a touch. I think it's these holders in this light. I think I gotta change where my light is. Now, these all have really nice tones. The one in the middle on the bottom is actually heavily toned. Unfortunately, I guess you're not going to see it here. So let me switch. I'll just start doing some of my silver dollars. Rubber, okay, just a second. Alrighty, not sure what got said. We try to keep it pretty clean in here. I know sometimes we all slip, so just take it easy, guys, and yeah, I don't know the Seiko. It sounds familiar, but oh, okay. Let me just go to some bigger coins. So this isn't a high grade, but let's see what we see here. So you can see most of the lines are there. If I hit it just right. But unfortunately, this coin got wiped or cleaned. And it's so sad. If you got full bell lines, why are they wiping the coin? I'm sorry, even if it has really dark toning, unless of course it was covering the lines, but it doesn't solve your problem. Now you see them, but it's not worth very much. That's a 52. That one's worth a lot of money with full bell lines, if I remember correctly. Funny how it lets me go in close sometimes. Stinker. Oh yeah. Now that I said something, it's gonna stop. Uh-oh, Cajun's talking food. I'm already hungry, Cajun. So I tried to get the stuff so I could do that chicken stroganoff thing. Was it stroganoff? Oh, that hamburger helper styled meal I was going to try with chicken, but I just wasn't up to doing much today. Pass on that one. If I take too long, Rhonda, just tell me I'm taking too long on a coin so I can move along. So if many of you sold the walkers, I have a lot of walkers that I really enjoy, but I have a bunch of certain dates that in the books they say they're fairly valuable, not quite in this condition, but let's see. Well, if this one makes it to VF20, the books say 80. I forget what, let me see here. Oh, shoot. There it is. So the books say 80 or so, but normally, they're off by a good 25%. And I was curious what some of the other, let's look here really quick. Yeah, I'll just move on. And the walkers are pretty cool. Now this one is actually one of the keys, but you're just going to barely be able to see that date. It's a 16S with the mint mark on right below "In God We Trust." And then the other one has it on the back. Let's see. Oh, I don't have the 16S right here. But I got the D's. And here's another coin that, in low grade is $100. Of course, the pricing I'm going by is a little old. So you can see that date enough, but this ain't, is not a floor. Not enough rim. But they're tough to find. You go looking for them and you ask for them, you pay a lot for them. But if you look in the junk silver bin, you find them sometimes because normally that's the condition they're in. $64 piece dollar dice. Oh, I didn't hear anything about that. Oh, Hector, that sounds really good. Some of my favorite foods. Yeah, where'd they find this stuff, Roadrunner? Oh, that's really interesting. Come on, come on. It's a bit of a rub there on the chest and leg. Pretty good on the back wings up high. Some of these are such an issue for that spot. I have some really nice walkers. And the way I heard it is it was definitely known they had made them too. That's what I had heard. But you know that some of those upper guys at the Mint, with us loving coins as much as we do, and they're the ones that make them, can you imagine just how much they loved making those? Can you imagine having to melt them right after you got them made? Or even, what was it, a year after? I don't know. I just, would love to know the whole story and who actually still actually has some of them. You know somebody does. There's no way they all got melted. There's uppity ups that get stuff we never hear about. And I'm sure that's the case with those. Come on, get off there. Just a minute, that little spot's bothering the heck out of me. All right, heck with it. It's up on the back of the coin. There we go. So I use a, can't see it, one of the rocket film blowers for my coins. It's how I put stuff in my airtights. Yeah, it'd be so cool to see some Carson cities come back, even if they're just tokens or commemoratives. Hopefully commemoratives. I would pick them up either way. And I'm not positive, but I think if I was in better health, I probably would have went to that grand opening and tried to have been part of that. Had a lot of family that lived in Carson City. It's Carson City, and there's a couple little towns right there. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I read it. I even read um, the fees for joining the group and the different things for. I think it's that library that is where everything is happening or was happening originally. So these are nice, but these are my low luster coins. Of course, when I show the low luster or the high luster ones, it'll probably look like less luster than these. But we will give it a try here in a second. Let me show just a couple more. Come on, focus. Such a great design coin. And it was so funny the other day, one of my grandchildren's friends were over checking these out. And the kid really impressed me. He, which thrilled my little granddaughter. I try not to let her see it. But he knew several of the coins. I didn't think he'd know any of them. And then he said, wow, I didn't know they made a silver eagle $50. So I bit my tongue really hard, smiled quite a bit, and explained it to him. Pretty cool, though, that's what he thought. I love these coins. They're so cool, and I think it's really cool that the government used this for their design for the silver eagles. It's just such a beautiful coin. So, and she came up to me afterwards and said, see, he knows quite a bit, huh? So she knows very well I'm into coins, so I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this kid wasn't studying up. Pretty cute though. 12 years old, or 12 or 13, I forget how old he was. Okay, one more, and I'll move over to something else. Yeah, 13, I think. 12 or 13. So this is the 34. 34S. It's got a little better value than most. And AU53, when I priced this stuff out, it was about 140 bucks. So there's quite a bit of wear on the wrong spots here on this one, so I'm not sure this would be an AU coin, but it's still a pretty good looking coin. Some of them just didn't have many chest feathers though. It's just the way it was on some. All right, just a second. Let me grab my other box. So now these are in the airtight, so they may not show up as good. Now this one doesn't have that much luster, but it definitely has more than those other coins. You can see a lot more detail. Her dress has a lot more lines. Got a fair amount of feathers. Would you buy Peace and Morgan clad dollars for U.S. legal tender coins for circulation? I think if it was the meant for collectors found in sets, but I don't know. I think it'd be sad to see them come back. They have such a nice historic value to them. I don't know. That's a tough one. It'd be neat to see them, though. It would be fun to spend them. This is the... Oh, it's another 34. Is it the S? No. So these aren't in very good order, so we might go up and down a little bit on quality. So this one's got a lot of luster, but it does look like there's an issue with it. Might have got white. 21. 50. Yeah, it's got some little bit of rub down the center. Yeah, now if they were 90% Hector, I don't think any of us would have an issue with it. I wish that they would start that back up. You know, as a kid, I got to spend some of that money, and it meant so much to my folks. And when it changed, it really frustrated a lot of people. I wish they had the insight to have seen what was coming, because it is so frustrating. Our money is worthless. That is just, I have such issues with that. One of the reasons why I did the silver. Yeah, it'd be odd to have our silver commemoratives and stuff end up 99%. 999. Hello. $43, not as good as shape. The luster's pretty nice on this one. Gills look pretty good. Nope, no feathers. So I'm sure the other end is probably the one with my better. Oh, maybe not. These all got mixed up really bad. I used to have them in order by grades. Oh, come on, I hardly moved it. Such a great looking coin. Even with some fair wear on these, still a gorgeous coin. S. So one's 42S. Don't hesitate to correct me if I get it wrong. I'm watching in the dark here. Well, that's not so impressive. You can see a little bit of the luster, but not a very good cartwheel. And that's a really good trick to telling if your coins have been wiped or clean. If it doesn't have that cartwheel luster, that's a big issue. Because even lightly wiped and cleaned the first time properly, they still have cartwheel luster. So if yours has lost it, it's probably been cleaned more than a couple times. Unfortunately, in the 50s, well, in fact, further in the 30s and 40s, people that collected coins and got the coin magazines and newspapers that were out were told to clean their coins. They were told it would give better value, and that everybody prefers clean, nice, shiny coins. So unfortunately, a lot of people cleaned them because they trusted those publications. So I don't have enough room to cartwheel, but it took me a lot of years to put these all together, and most of these came from rolls that I picked up as a kid, and luckily paid $10 for the roll. So yeah, it's called rubbing it in a little bit. Fundum and part of that generation that got to do that. And mom worked at a bank, so that made things even easier for me. All I had to do is ask in the morning. Every time I saved up enough money to get a roll, I'd either meet her there for lunch when I was old enough and hand pick them, or I would have her bring it home. It's totally what made my coin collecting or coin collection what it is today. Thanks, Mom. Who'd have known? And she was really only using it as a bribing device because I was a bad kid that didn't do his chores. Then when she started bringing those bankrolls home, I couldn't find enough chores to do. It's like, what else can I do? Okay, let's look here. That one's nice and shiny. Come on. Of course, I have to set it right in that darn purple spot. Is that better or worse, Rhonda? Okay. So I can't see my chat too well. What is it you're after, Roadrunner? Keep forgetting I have a setting here I can hit. Oh, oops. Wrong button. Oh, how weird. Darn, I just changed the temperature. Didn't even know I could do that. Okay. Did I get it back? Is that where I was? Uh, 10 sisters. And you survived? That's pretty good. That's a lot of sisters. Did you have any brothers? Odd toning. All right. I'm sure this is getting a little repetitive for you guys. So, what'd you ask for, Roadrunner? Nice coins, though. I just really enjoy collecting these. See if I can find a couple of my toned ones that might help. I'm starting to get to some really nice ones, too. This is Ohio, Coin Collecting Ohio, is that what it is? There we go. Some B rolls? Like you're just talking bank wrapped? I've actually unwrapped a lot of my bank wrapped other than my early 70s and up. So the 60s stuff has pretty much been put into flips, into my square tube holders. And there you guys go. That one's up the knees a little bit missing, but that chest feathers are really full. So yeah, I can show some of that. This one will probably look horrible. This one's beautiful purple. I mean, really purple. Let me back this off since we're going to do something else anyway. Maybe I can get the color to show up. Oh, you can see it. It's neon purple. It's really breathtaking. But obviously not going to show up. And the neat thing about the color is it's on the devices, not the fields. Come on. But it just barely shows up. It's really deep colors. So it's so hard to tell on some of these. I don't think it's real. I think those colors were added by human hands. That one's got quite a bit of color too, but it's just not going to show. So I need to get my other lights going. So that one's got most of the feathers. Just slightly light on that leg. I've got the light almost completely off of it. Is that better? Doesn't seem to. The large cent I only have a handful of. Same thing with the half cent. I had a album that I had started, and then I got a really good trade for it for some seated liberties seated liberty coins. I had a really nice Trime collection. Granddaughter's got that right now. Always liked the Trimes and all the little half dimes. And then the ones I'm missing are the 1796s. I don't have many of those, and I love them. Was it Flowing Hair? Did I say that right? I try not to even look. It just kills me to see the prices on them. Alrighty. Let's see here. I think I have some rolls right here. Be right back. Just a second, guys. Just some world coins. Nothing important. Huh. No, I'm not sure where I put my other rules. Just a second. Alrighty, I did find some. But like I said, most of this is going to be the 70s. I have gone through most of the rolls and got them out of the original bank wrap. So I really had to dig for these. There's not a whole bunch to choose from. Oh, see all the cat hair. Missy kitty. I had such a good time with my old kitty cat. Every time I was trying to do something like this, she'd hear this sound of the coins scraping against the these little black mats, and they're actually photo mats. And she would come running in and absolutely fight me for everything on the area. The little foam pieces that were in the airtights. Oh, I had to hide my airtights, completely hide them, and then tape them down, or she would find them and pull them out of the most hardest places for her to get to. That's chances are they're going to be a little bit toned. I found that most of my stuff was starting to turn. This why I spent so much money on airtights. So that's actually a very nice red. Oh, there you can see it. But just a little bit of air in these things tone all the way through because this paper is really cheap. So what I'm seeing is the little carbon spots, and that's always really disappointing, but very common for the 70s. Just a fraction of moisture and those spots would show up like a sore thumb. So I bet these are covered. Let's see. Not too bad. Just a couple big ones. Let me change my light a little bit. Here you can see a slight toning to it. Come on. There we go. So really good detail, but definitely has some spots. Try a couple others here. Well, first let's check, because this is my favorite thing, is to check the end coins. Normally the enders have such great toning. They're normally a useless coin for any type of grading though. But I didn't care about that. I just love the toned coins. Yeah, I like those nickels, Hector. There we go. Oh, 74s. I believe that's a year with a fairly good error. Or is that only 72? Yeah, the pennies are really hard to conserve, but Dr. G, I was told, has a really good formula. And is a bit of an amateur chemist. So I was going to check with him and see what he came up with, because I know he had a coin that he was trying to get graded. And it had, if I remember the story correctly, it had issues in grading and came back ungraded. And then he did this wash that he did, and I was able to get it graded. So I would be very interested in that. And I don't think it'd be an issue with Dr. G. I get along pretty good with him. So these end coins are the ones that I look for, the bullseye type toning. And now the second and third coins are normally the ones where I end up with the neon colors. I don't see any here. Oh, wow, some purple showing up there. Can you guys see that little flash of purple? There it is. This has actually a lot of purple. Nice. So these second and third coins I'll end up putting in airtights and just stashing them in the dark and letting them continue to tone real slow. And I've had some really good luck. I end up with some beautiful coins. Yeah, that one's really nice. Let's see what that third coin is. I have some just gorgeous neon tone coins. I have a video on one of them, and the roll had gotten just a little tiny bit of moisture, but it had ruined all the coins except for the absolute middle coin. And the other ones were actually toned beyond red-brown, except for right next to this super coin. Nope, that one's not so good. Let me try the other side. And that middle coin, oh my gosh. You should check out the video if you guys haven't seen it. It's just beautiful neon colors, like 6 to 8 colors. So, and I like this one too. The ones that turn really pretty gold are really interesting. Yeah. There we go. Shoot, look how clear those fields are. I know you can't. Oh, maybe they're not so clear. I see a lot of spots. Well, that's too bad. Okay, let me move on to this next row. Yeah, the 2005D nickels, they're really cool. I have some really neat toned ones. Again, purple. What you need to do before you open it, Hector, is get yourself one of those square tubes. CoinSafe is the brand I use, but there's a couple good ones out there. And have that roll before you open it, and then put it right into the roll. Don't mess around with it. Don't leave it out. The air can really mess with them, and the sooner you get it in the coin tube and get it closed and put in the dark and out of the way, the better. Go ahead and peek at a couple so you know, and pull a couple if you want to put in flips. But yeah, be real careful with those rolls. There's some really good values to some of them, and those that don't will in another 5 years. Oh, these don't look good at all. Red brown, red brown. Morning, 1980 days. Yuck. All right, let's check the end coins. So a lot of the time, even though the roll is bad, the end coins can still be good. And it's strange because you would think that it's the middle of the roll that would be good. It's just strange how it works. It can go both ways. Yeah, it's got some color. Oh yeah, that one's got a lot of purples. Can you guys see that purple? That one over here. I'll try to get to this other end. I always use just my fingernail. There's that little rocket thing I was telling you guys about. There's cheaper ones, but boy, this one just does such a good job for when I put coins in airtights. Huh. Nope, that's browning. I just see a little bit of color, but let's try the next coin. Oops. Next coin was here. Nope. It's got a little bit of a tone to it, but nothing fantastic. Yeah, I'll only do a couple, and I don't use the scope unless I'm finding things. I've gotten pretty good with spotting stuff, and the I used this thing here, which just does. Oh, there you go. I forgot I was going to try that. This thing is nice and massive. Let's see what it does for some of these. Lost all my light. Can't get close enough. Messes with the focus too much, I guess. Oh, there it is. Interesting. I'll have to play games with that because that made a huge difference. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, now I got another thing to play with. But anyway, so that's what I'm using. And I use it in my video camera. Come on. And it does such a great job of blowing stuff up. And it's just a cheap lens. It's not an expensive one. Well, it's 40 bucks, 35 or 40 bucks. So that's kind of expensive. But since most people, spend close to that on their main loop, it's not bad. All right, too much reflection. Okay, let me catch up in the chat for a second here. Yeah, Hector, it's really good to look for those because sometimes if you find one, you find half the roll. Sometimes more that have that same exact error. Or what I've also run into is I'll find one that has like the cracked skull or a die crack that goes all the way across. And in the one roll, I'll have like 5 or 6 different stages of that die crack. And you get to slowly follow it across the coin, which is really cool. I like that. I always put those in series when I find them. All right, Rhonda. Oh, funny. Okay, Rhonda, you're already back. A little slow on catching up here. Oh, you're probably right, Cajun. I need to clean it up again. I even brought in some other things to help me keep from doing that, and I still did it. I wish I could show you guys my mess, but I'm a little bit too embarrassed, and probably stuff that I'll miss that has too much information on it. But I've, over the last 3 days of streaming or 4 days of streaming, I've created a major mess. Oh boy, and that lens needs cleaning. So I'm really careful on cleaning because this is a nice glass lens. And I'm really careful on cleaning all that stuff. I used the special little wipes, not the pre-moistened one. I don't believe in those ones. I use the stuff that's meant for the high-end camera lenses. There you go. So it's a, oh, I thought it was a 5 times. So it's a 4 times microscopic or macroscopic lens. So I wish I could find there's a 8 or a 10. And that'd be a lot of fun to be able to zoom up that much more. Because with that one, I can go inside one of the numbers on the date. So it gets a little shaky though. You got to be on a copy stand or tripod. All right, see ya, Roadrunner. Okay, let me see here. So here's the capital plastic things I keep talking about. These are the ones that cause the, well, what I've seen to cause the bullseye toning. I have all kinds of these. I bought a big old box of them from a coin shop that was closing down. And I got used repair parts and used pieces and then new. And they had bought a whole bunch of like lenses for the front and replacement screws. And boy, I got just a ton of this stuff. And unfortunately, after going over it for a while, I only got about 10% out of it because of real fine. I think they had some kid clean it, and he cleaned it with ammonia. Because this is plastic, you can't clean it with glass cleaners and stuff, and that's unfortunately what it looked like. But still, at even the 10%, I made out like a big dog. Yeah, Robert, Hector's a good guy. Most of the people in here, most of the people, everybody in here is really good. I've been talking to Hector and Cajun for the last few days and Rhonda for a few more days. Really good people, really into coins. Hector's getting into it and learning, but and I'm not sure how long Rhonda's been doing it, but she talks the talk really good. And then Cajun, he's been doing it close to as long as I have since we were 5. And yeah, pretty good people. I love the coin community. It's got such a diverse group, but yet still 99% good people. We do have that 1% though. It's okay. Give me just a second here, guys, and I'll figure out something else. And we'll look at something different. Unless you guys have something you want to watch. You're welcome back anytime, Robert. And as soon as we get the to where we can bring people back in, I'll start doing that for people and switch out who we do and start getting it to where we can all start getting on and sharing our opinions. Oh, all right, Hector. So you're going to, Hector? Or were you just saying goodbye? I've already got it, Cajun. I've used it a few times. Haven't been successful with it yet. But it's the kind of. So I've been using all the Adobe products, and they have some really heavy ones with tons of options and settings, and so it's right up my alley. I just need to learn it a little bit more, and then everything will start making sense to me. I understand a lot of the option jargon. I just need to find the main switches that are keeping my cameras from turning on. I'm sure I'm doing it backwards, and I just need to reverse what I'm doing. Then wife is off tomorrow. So I'm pretty sure this weekend I'll get enough time to learn it and be able to start using it. I have a really great camera set up for macro to get the color of stuff. And then the microscope I have, it was a couple $100. And it doesn't have the super high magnification, but it'll be just perfect for looking at like the area of the date and bigger, which is all I really need. I don't need to zoom in too much more than that. And I believe OBS uses the Hangouts. Isn't that correct? Yeah. Good night, Robert. A yard sale? I wish you would have told me. I have all kinds of stuff. My grandson's doing one for a trip he's going on, and so funny because my daughter says, "So, how many tables do you need?" It's like, well, how big is it going to be? How many tables will there be? So I'm down for a little more than half the tables. Yeah, I thought so, Cajun. So that'll be great. And then OBS works on Facebook or on YouTube, right? So then it'll all be working together again. All right, Robert. Go take care of that granddaughter. Did I tell you I have some of the sweetest little grandchildren? I have so much fun with them. Okay. I'll bring them over. I'll send a van. So I bought for years and years, like 6 or 7 years, I was buying small antique items for decoration items and oddities and specialty books and that kind of thing. So I could keep, I was going to change after I was done doing coins on YouTube, on eBay, to doing antiques. And half my garage is full of boxes and boxes of pieces that are the perfect size to mail and higher dollar stuff, higher quality stuff. So yep, I could have done you good at your garage sale. Take it easy. You're right there, Rhonda. My little grandkids make me sparkle. And that's not easy to do. I'm pretty my luster's pretty low these days, but when they're around it's like a very special time. I deal with a lot of pain, but luckily for me, when they're around, it completely leaves my mind until I try to pick one of them up. Then it reminds me. But I am still able to hold the babies. So, and unfortunately for me, my grand boys are really big boys. So, my little 3-year-old, he's a tank. I can pick him up and put him on my lap and stuff, but try to move anywhere with him, and I'm kind of doomed. So, take it easy, Hector. Thanks for your help tonight. Aw, that's great, Rhonda. It's neat the little lingos that they use. And so, shoot, let me see if I can remember this. One of our friends, her granddaughter calls her, oh, shoot. Oh, shoot, I can't think of it. But it's something like poopsie, or, it'd be something in that line of lingo. And she just adores her grandmother and calls for her all the time. And to hear her being called just makes everybody in the room laugh. It's really hilarious. And the child's too young to realize, that the name is a little bit odd. And it's so cute to see the grandma's face when she gets called out loud in a room full of people that she's not used to being around. Pretty hilarious. But she answers to it really quick. Oh, so we are down to 2 people. Okay. I thought there was still a couple more in here. So, Rhonda, I will be having streams pretty regular, especially if I can get OBS working. And we can set up a time that works for everybody, because for me, I'm pretty open to the time. We just need to consider the folks out there. There's a lot of people that said they'd be watching me, like Dr. G and shoot, I always forget the other guys. Michael Kittles, Michael Kittle, said that he would be watching too if I wasn't at the late hours. So if we can get this a little earlier and not end up at a time that some of the big guys are going, I think we can get some pretty good people in here. Yeah, Kittles, thank you. Such a nice guy. I really like him. What he did for all the kids this evening was awesome. Man, those guys were going on and on and on. But hey, why not? I mean, he found 22 Ds. He found 16 S's and 16 D's. And I thought he was going to get a 14D. Came so close, kept finding 1909s. And wow, what an awesome bag. I think he staged it personally, but what a great thing to do for all the kids. All right, Rhonda, I'm going to go ahead and shut this stream down. Um, Cajun, hold on for a minute, though. I needed to make sure I've got everything right for you. Oh, yeah, for sure. Our problem right now is we're hitting it at the same time a lot of the big people are doing it. Or not so much the big people, but people that are getting 30 or so people. And there's several of them at the same time. So, yeah, I totally agree. Um, I have 2,000 subscribers, but I think probably all but 500 are from old accounts or, are really not watching anymore or whatever. Because I don't do that good anymore with my videos. I get a fair if it's up for a month or so. So I think that'll change with the streams. So many people watch the streams. So send me some emails with your ideas on timing and other people we need to avoid the matching up times with. Because I have a certain group I follow. You probably follow a couple that I don't. And if we all do that, we can really cinch down a good timing. Yeah, that could work pretty good. And I'd even be willing to do a couple shorter shows, do two shows a couple times a week. That could work for me. And then if it doesn't work for you guys could switch in and out and make it work. So thanks again for jumping in. I appreciate you guys modding for me. Yep. And send me that address. I got some packages ready to go. You just need to get me a address. And let me know if you got more than the two boys. Oh, okay. Now, do you have more than two grandsons? Alrighty. Yeah, you sound like me, but luckily for me, I get to see most of mine probably about once a month or so. But I have four that come all the time. So, all right. Thank you again. And I'll see you later. Alrighty. Yeah, I think I did a successful one with you, Cajun, and I think all I have to do is click redial or reconnect or something. So we'll see how it goes. All right, Rhonda. Thank you. And look for me in my chat or not chat, but comments if it doesn't work, and we'll hook up that way until we get it to work. I did it with Hector. So I know it'll work. Talk to you later. Bye, Rhonda.